Hi, Erik Linask here at IT Expo West. We're coming to you from the Los Angeles Convention Center. I'm sitting here with Milind Pansare from a company called Saba. Milind, thank you very much for joining me again.
Erik, it's a pleasure to be with you again.
Last time we talked, I believe was out, that you and I talked anyway, was out at Interop. We had a great chat about some of the exciting things that Saba's doing. Specifically, we talked about some of the enterprise social networking ideas that you have, and products that you have.
We had just launched Saba Live,
Right.
our enterprise business networking product.
So I want to get into a little more detail on sort of one of the components of that, something that you also have as a standalone product, which is your web conferencing product.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me tell you a little bit about that. Saba Centra is Saba's web conferencing product. And Saba actually started off in the collaboration space through this acquisition of a company called Centra in 2006. Very innovative company, was really well known as a pioneer in the web conferencing space. And then what Saba's been doing in web conferencing ever since, being the leader in the learning space, is we've been selling our virtual classroom technology in the web conferencing product to very large organizations. So if you look at large companies like Yum Brands, for example, doing global training across their Pizza Hut, KFCs, to remote locations in the Far East. That happens over Saba Centra web conferencing, over very low bandwidth connections with VoIP over to some of their franchisees. We are also in some very large accounts. Some of our customers include Accenture. The Internal Revenue Service, for example, they rarely go public with a statement like they just did, which is that through the use of Saba Centra web conferencing, the US taxpayers saved $49 million in the 2009 tax year. So that was an interesting testimonial, if you will, from the IRS.
I'm sure everybody's going to want to know how come they didn't see those savings. When people
typically
think about web conferencing, you think about names like WebEx.
So
what distinguishes Saba Centra from companies like WebEx and other similar products?
Absolutely. So the first thing that I would talk about is the superior ease of use and the user experience that we've really made for virtual classroom. So as I mentioned, in the early days, we were concentrating more on the virtual classroom environment. So if you look at universities like Stanford University, you look at Embry-Riddle University, which trains our astronauts and our pilots on the front line. You look at the US Army that actually does boot camps out in Iraq and Afghanistan. All of that is done over Saba Centra web conferencing, right? And it all comes down to superior ease of use. You can quickly interact with your participants. You can do quick polls. You can check yes or no for answers. You have emoticons that are right there so people can smile, laugh, and interact with you. So that's number one. Number two is our enterprise scale. So really, we have hundreds of customers and millions of users right now for Saba Centra. And it's available both on demand through our data centers as well as it's available behind the firewall with the same superior scalability. So that is, again, another advantage. And then, I'm very pleased to announce that there's a new advantage that we have, right? We just came out with Saba Centra on the iPad and the iPhone. And what's different about our client is, firstly, it's very fast. So when you flip meeting slides and you're on a browser, on a web browser, your participants are seeing these instantly. And I think we can go head to head against the best and be faster than all of them. The second thing is VoIP is included. So you don't have to be on your cellular call. You have free VoIP, free voice over IP. And our VoIP actually works. So think about the number of times you've been on a web conferencing session with one of the better known players. In a previous job, I was at a very large company called Sun, which then got acquired, of course.
Sure.
Right? And I was always worried. We used one of the larger web conferencing providers that starts with a W back then. And I was always worried about whether the conference would be alive when we were talking to thousands of people. And we would pay for extra concierge services. We would pay for landlines. In the 6 months that I've been at Saba, we've done hundreds of seminars. I just did one with the Enterprise 2.0 folks, and we had over 1,000 people on it. And we didn't have to have a concierge to keep the session up. It just works, and it works with voice over IP and with streaming video with multiple streams of video. So that's another advantage that we have.
How how big of an impact is the iPad, and for that matter, other similar devices? You know, Cisco's got one. Avaya obviously launches Flare.
Yeah.
RIM has its playbook coming
Absolutely.
out. What impact, as far as the conferencing space, are those products going to have?
Well, I think there's a huge impact. I mean, already today, there's a change in the way executives are embracing the iPad. This is really the surprise of 2010, if you will. You know, even in our own company, if we look at CFO, who would have thought a year ago that our CFO would be out briefing investors with all his slides on an iPad, right? So there is a change that's occurred. The way we are staying ahead of this change is through innovation. So we really believe that these devices are new ways that people are going to be doing their meetings. So I take my meetings to go, literally. I just missed a meeting while I'm here in LA, and that meeting is the recording that I'm showing you right now. And I'm just going to flip through the recording, and I'll probably go through the meeting more effectively now that I've missed it in about 10 minutes instead of the 30 minutes that I would have spent. So again, the way we work has changed, and we plan to bring all those experiences to the devices that people use.
So for enhanced productivity, maybe we should record all of our meetings and then view them after the fact.
Sometimes that's a very good idea, yes. Yeah.
Well, Milind, it's been a great pleasure talking to you again. We've been here at IT Expo West in Los Angeles, talking with Milind Pansare from Saba.
Always a pleasure, thank you. And if anyone's interested, we actually have a free trial of Saba Centra. It's at www.saba.com/Centra, 30 days free, and after that, it's half the price of WebEx.
Excellent. Thanks, Milind.
Thank you.